Hello, this is the Great Rick, and I'm going to be doing something that's a bit similar but a bit different. And yeah, this is going to be unscripted, so you're going to hear a lot of uhs, all that shit, because I am a bit of a neurotic mess sometimes. Anyway, so what I'm going to be talking about today is some recent news and the future of my channel again, like what I have planned and new projects coming up for my channel, because I don't want this channel to be a dead horse forever, waiting for me to produce a Fire Emblem video every 2 or 3 months, or in this case, about 4 months, because goddamn, I took forever with Fire Emblem 3. But anyway, I'm just going to be having some Final Fantasy 6 muted in the background, grinding for Ultima and whatnot. And so, yeah, first things first I'm going to talk about is the Final Fantasy 15 second anniversary stream. I decided not to talk about it the exact day that it came out because, well, everyone was already talking about it, and if I did, it would just be me saying, fuck you, Square, you fucking morons, what the fuck were you thinking? And I don't like being that rage-filled asshole most of the time. That keyword being most of the time, anyway. But yeah. So with that, with that second anniversary stream, it turns out they canceled 3 of the 4 DLCs they had planned for Final Fantasy 15. Those being Episode Aranea, Episode Luna, and the grand alternate finale, which was known as Episode Noctis, which I know people were mixed on, but honestly, I felt like we needed those. Like, Aranea was just pure fan service, so that was the easiest one to cut out. But Lunafreya, she didn't get any character development in that game. She didn't, have really a character in general. Like, I liked what I saw of her, but here's the thing. When what you see is not much, you can't really even say that as a positive. So, giving her an episode where she interacts with Noctis makes the romantic, relationship that they said they had feel like a real relationship and not some, tacked on bullshit like a bad movie. Now, I love Final Fantasy 15, and but I can't admit that it's excuse me, burp right there, but yeah, I can't admit that's a flawed game and it was broken. By broken, I mean unfinished and kind of a mess. Like, Square had them put it out on a specific date, which Tauta couldn't push back because here's the thing. Like, people were all like, why couldn't Tabata just ask for 6 months or shit like that? Well, here's the thing. Final Fantasy is not a game that belongs to the creator. Like, one of my friends is like, Nier Automata got all the time it needed. Well, here's the thing. Nier Automata was kind of not that advertised a game, or, well, okay, it was advertised, but what I mean is, like, it was not one of the games they were banking on. So, with that being a surprise smash hit, they're probably gonna expect one in the future. And here's the thing, that allowed Yoko Taro to have as much time with the shit as he wanted, which a Final Fantasy creator doesn't really get. I mean, they tried that with the lazy asshole Nomura, and I'm not gonna take that back, people. Anyone that watches this video, I am not taking that back. Nomura sat on his ass for 7 fucking years with this game and did jack shit. He also did jack shit with KH3 for 12 years, almost 13 years, because that game's coming out now, but you see, they realized when Nomura wasn't doing jack shit, that they had to kick him off the project, and they wanted it to be released in 2016, so Tabata was having his hands tied, while an open world game honestly takes 5 years to make. Like, Skyrim honestly was underdone, because I don't know how long it took to make Skyrim, but it was obvious that didn't take the time it needed. But yeah, I'm rambling, but that's because I've got to get my opinions out there for how an open world game is made. Like, I'm pretty sure it takes 5 years to make a good open world game that doesn't really have a lot of problems, which a lot of games aren't willing to give the time for. Like again, any Bethesda game, though Bethesda's pretty shit. Okay, I'm just now attacking every company, aren't I? Anyway, so yeah, they needed this DLC to flesh out the story, because, like, Tabata wasn't allowed to have the time he needed. He was taking over a project that that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, because, goddamn, like, imagine having to take over the most hyped game in years. And yes, Versus 13, or now Final Fantasy 15, was hyped as all fuck. We got trailers, we got little things revealed, we got all sorts of shit. And, well, sorry, give me a second to catch my breath. And, well, Hajime Tabata had a lot of stuff to live up to. And, honestly, I felt he did an amazing job with the game. That's just my opinion. But anyway, so speaking of Tabata, it was also revealed with the DLC cuts that he's leaving the company. Or, well, he's leaving Luminous and Square, but I'm not sure if that was of his own volition or if Square let him go. You see, Square does listen to fan feedback, but here's the thing, a lot of Final Fantasy fans, it seems, are kind of whiny little shits. Like, they're like, oh, it's not completed instantly, it's an open world game, or shit like that, you know? They complain about the whiniest shit, and I'm just, like, so fucking tired of it. Like, goddamn, people, like, I know you guys had such high expectations for Versus, but here's the thing, everything you speculated was just... ugh. Like, people were wanting some bullshit grimdark story, and yes, I wanted darker stuff in the game too. I mean, the game did get pretty dark towards the end, but shit. Sorry. Again, I'm not used to talking this long without pauses or a script, so forgive me for that. Anyway, so yeah, Hajime Tabata's left, leaving the DLC and whatever comes next for 15 to a new director whose name I've honestly forgotten. But another thing that is also now dropped, or at least is soon to be dropped for now, is the next game in the Final Fantasy Type series. What I mean is there was another game planned after Final Fantasy Type 0, that game being Final Fantasy Type Next. And honestly, I was looking forward to that game because I love the Fabula Nova Crystallis stuff. Like Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13 2 and 3, the 13 trilogy really, and Type 0. I was also looking forward to the stuff in Versus 13. And here's the thing. But again, when it turns out, Versus 13, there wasn't really shit to know about Versus. Because here's the thing. From what I've read, Nomura only had like 10% of scripts made before he scrapped them. And with that, there was also, like, everyone on the internet's like, oh, here's a legit script for Final Fantasy Versus 13. And I'm just like, go fuck yourselves, people. Like, you don't have shit. You're just making shit up so that people that are like, oh, this is so fucking dark, I love it, can have their boners and jerk themselves off. Okay, yeah, I'm already having a bit of a rage. Because, God, fuck Versus 13 fanboys. Or fangirls, whatever the fuck. Like, you cunts can shut the fuck up. either way, yeah, Tabata had to leave. And I don't blame him if he left on his own volition, because he was stuck with all this bullshit, you know? He was the one that had all that responsibility put on him. And, you know, they just worked him to the ground. They probably, here's what I believe happened. They probably canceled the DLCs that he had in mind, aside from Episode Arden, because here's the thing. You cancel Episode Arden, the people will fucking rage. And, well, yeah, that's kind of about it. You know? Again, sorry about, like, how, off the wall this video is. I don't really do these that often. Because, again, I prefer to be scripted. I've tried Let's Plays in the past. But anyway. So, yeah, with Tabata gone and Final Fantasy 15 being the mess it is, it's kind of got me worried about the future of this franchise. Same with other news that came up recently about how, they want to do a subscription service for non-MMO type games. That means, like, imagine if Dragon Quest 12 comes out to the West, and they're like, here, you have to pay $15 a month to play it after paying $80 on PS5 or PS4 if it comes out within the PS4's generation. And you're just like, motherfuckers. Like, you're just now trying to milk your fans dry, Square. And it's not a good idea. I mean, I understand for subscriptions, in order to keep the servers running, like, here's the thing a lot of people don't get as well with, like, servers and stuff. It's like, oh, why does PS Plus cost so much? And yes, I know I was talking about Final Fantasy and I'm on PS Plus, but yeah, stuff like PS Plus, the Nintendo Online, everyone's just like, oh, $20, what a ripoff. And I'm just like, you know how high maintenance those fucking servers are? Like, I don't run a server myself, but I know people that do run servers. And you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to run a server? Like, in order to keep it maintenance, in order to keep people working on servers, to keep updated or bugged, because you've got to pay your employees. You can't just be like, oh, do this for free. They'll gladly do it. No, that's a fucking fantasy, you dipshits. But yeah. So yeah, it costs money to keep a server running, and but yeah, but that's because those games are constantly online, and will experience crashes. People will DDoS them, all that shit. You know, they need more security and all that. A fucking like single player game like a Dragon Quest 11 or like, you know, next Nier game, if there's gonna be another one after Nier Automata, if Yoko Taro doesn't make it a porn. But anyway, but yeah, you don't need to be charging us like $15 a month after we buy the game. But then again, Square's been doing all sorts of weird bullshit as of late, like what they did to Dissidia NT, and pretty much, I'm just very concerned for it, you know. I know that I'm not saying much aside from surface stuff, but that's because a lot of what I have is pretty surface concerns, but they are legitimate concerns. Like, honestly, like, you're gonna lose your fan base, Square, if you keep trying to pull this shit. And you're also kind of dividing the fan base of Final Fantasy. Like, when Final Fantasy 16 comes around, people are gonna be so shaky after what you did with 15, after you worked Tabata to the ground, after he left and you're making someone else complete the game. Because, yeah, the 15's not complete, no matter what people are saying. Like, I had an idiot yesterday tell me that all the DLC episodes were just filler. I'm just like, bitch, please. Like, they update the story. There's actual plot important elements. Like, and yes, okay, that's another thing. It is kind of stupid that they included important plot stuff in the game. In the game's DLC. Because, you know, that's stuff that should be included in the main game. But here's the thing, like, the game decided, like, they had their choice to make it a Noctis focus entirely. Where it's just like, here's everything about Noctis entirely. Like, which, I mean, is kind of an interesting decision narratively, because, you know, keeping it purely on Noctis's perspective allowed you to just see everything that he saw exclusively, so if there was something else, you were, like, you didn't know about it, but at the same time, that there seemed to be a lot more happening outside of Noctis's perspective, which is not a good thing. Like, you really shouldn't do that, Square. You really shouldn't. But yeah, that's kind of all I've really had for the Square Enix stuff, which I've already taken up 15 minutes talking about. So yeah, let's talk about my channel. Yes, I know that I haven't uploaded since August, which was, let me click on my computer real quick. 1, 2, 3 months ago. And I've not made any updates about uploading to my channel. That's because I kind of got burned out on Fire Emblem for a bit. Like, here's the thing. You can only play so much Fire Emblem, or if one series in general, before you get burned out. Like, Mangs, for example. I know that he experienced Fire Emblem burnout, but he still played. Although you could probably see that with his burnout, he just didn't have as much fun. But, yeah, you can't play the same thing forever. I mean, you can, but to be honest, you really shouldn't. Because I know people that say, oh, I used to love this game, but then I played it so much that I just get bored of it. And I'm just like, did you play anything in between? It's just like, no. So yeah, I've been taking a break. I've been playing what you see on here, Final Fantasy VI, because I'm actually going to be part of a podcast for that soon where we discuss the game, we discuss our favorite characters and whatnot, which I'll probably link to when we get to that on the 17th, 1 week from now. But anyway, so yeah, that's what's been up with my channel. I'm still actually editing the Fire Emblem 3 stuff. I'm getting the voice clips ready, all that stuff, trying to edit it better. Took a lot of advice from people on Reddit and Facebook, especially about the audio, because Gaiden Part 2, I sounded like I was like fucking talking like the Flash, which is not a good thing for my channel. But yeah, that's pretty much it on channel updates for the Fire Emblem stuff. That the Fire Emblem 3 review will come out either by the end of this month or the end of next, or the beginning of next month. I am not going to let it slip away into 2019. Though Fire Emblem 4 will slip into 2019, but that's another thing. So, one last thing I'm going to talk about is new projects I have in mind. Because I want to shy away from being purely Fire Emblem, I'm going to go into another series I love. That being Final Fantasy. And another series I want to get into is, instead of a retrospective, it's a, like, I play my experience with Dragon Quest, because I've been playing Dragon Quest V, I've been playing, and I got Dragon Quest XI on behest of a friend, and, well, I love Dragon Quest V so far. Haven't gotten too far in it, I'm about like 10 hours in, though I think the game's about like 30 hours, so I'm a third of the way through, but anyway, so yeah, I've been playing Dragon Quest V, and with that, But yeah, and I'm thinking I could make a fun video about Dragon Quest, because it's much like Fire Emblem, it's the first RPG series ever made, like JRPG, because people will be like, oh, what about Dungeons and Dragons and all that? Like, yes, D&D counts as an RPG, but you pedantic assholes get what I'm saying. And, that leads me to another project I want to do. This one will be weekly and be starting in 2019. And this is for a series that isn't video game related at all. Well, okay, there are video games for it, but I'm not going to be covering the video games for it. And that is Super Sentai versus Power Rangers. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be watching one for a week, every week, 5 episodes of Power Rangers and 5 episodes of the Sentai that are part of that series. So, for Power Rangers Season 1, you're getting Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1 and Sent in Zyuranger. And Season 2, Dairanger, and so on and so forth. But with that, I'm just going to be comparing the two. Like, not going to be, like, comparing them plot-wise. Well, okay, I will be comparing them plot-wise as if they're, like, definitely copying the Sentai entirely. Like, Samurai was a complete note for note and all that. But, yeah, Power Rangers has been with me since I was born, so it's kind of been a close series to my heart. And I've never watched Super Sentai, but, you know, I figured this is a great way to actually get into that series, too, see if I like it. And I will try to be doing these weekly, so I'll be watching, like, 5 episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then 5 episodes of Super Sentai a week. And, then when Beast Morphers comes along, I'll be giving my initial thoughts on that, because that's supposed to be coming in 2019. And I'm actually excited for that, because here's the thing, the plot for that is, well, a Power Rangers RP. Looks like it's a continuation of Power Rangers RPM, which honestly gets me super hyped. But that's only really if you know Power Rangers. But yeah, I'm also looking to branch out, because here's the thing, Fire Emblem is small. So is Final Fantasy. Well, actually, no, Final Fantasy is fucking huge. What the fuck am I saying there? But, yeah. But yeah, I want to expand my channel, get a whole bunch of new different people in. And I figure this is the best way to do it. But, yeah. So yeah, here's gonna be my schedule for the next, for the upcoming year. After this Fire Emblem 3 video, I'm gonna be doing, Fire Emblem 4. Then I'm gonna be doing then I'm gonna be doing Power Rangers meets versus Super Sentai. Then I'm gonna be doing, what was it? Then I might do a Fire Emblem video. Then I might do either Thracia or I might do Final Fantasy 1. I'll flip a coin. But then I'll definitely do Dragon Quest. And, you know, I might even do some vlog reviews on the side. Like, you know, if I play a new game, I'll give my impressions of it via vlog. Like, there's a game that I'm going to be buying on Steam, even though I've been playing it on the Switch, just for gameplay footage of it. And that's called Valrithian Arc, and that game is a shit ton of fun. Like, I seriously suggest someone play that. So, yeah, that's really about it for today. I'm going to be coming up with the Fire Emblem 3 review either at the end of this month or beginning, as I've said before. And you can look forward to new stuff in 2019. So, this has been The Great Riek, and I'll see you all next time.